What is happening, my friends? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, as always, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. As always, my friends, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your time to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. This is episode 300 and numero uno. I hope you enjoyed our 300th episode. Had the opportunity of having a conversation with Mr. Blazing Buckshot Bloom. I have a good time saying his name. And he is currently running for Virginia House of Delegates District 89, which is a state level position in office in the public office, and he's just 21 years old. Yeah, 21 years old, and I'm telling you right now, highly educated individual, knows a lot about about his city. And it was very an inspiring conversation. So good, I have to have a part two. We haven't had it scheduled yet, but we are planning a part two of that conversation. Now, you know how important local government is, and at least I try to preach that to you, the listeners, the viewers out there. I've even started doing some clips on our social media platforms, where I am explaining each local position, from the circuit court clerk, city treasurer, commissioner of revenue, school board members, sheriff. Every single position I am doing a quick video, just for one, explaining what they do and why you should have a better understanding, really, just in local government. So I'm having a good time doing that. And yeah, so again, I hope you all enjoyed that episode. We've officially done over 300 episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show. Thank you so much for your countless support. As you know, it's a slow process, man, but I'm appreciative on the improvement, because one thing, we're not going down, we are increasing. Each and every day I look at it, we got a couple new subscribers here and there. We're averaging more viewerships and listenerships, and I'm very fortunate. I want to thank you all for your continuous support. I'm hoping that I'm doing my job right on giving you all great information. It doesn't always have to be boring. I mean, look, we're entertaining, keeping you up to speed on pop culture news, sports news, but hey, politics is involved in everything, and that's why I try to give to you all here on this program. Look, I hope you all are having a great evening. The other night, my lovely queen and we got to see one of the iconic figures of our time, and that is Martin Lawrence, hit the stage. He did a show out in Norfolk, Virginia. He's been on his comedy tour, and so he had a gentleman, Benji Brown, who was hosting the function, and then Just Hilarious, comedian Just Hilarious, and also co-host of the Breakfast Club, opened up, and then boom, Martin hit the stage for about at least a good hour. Um, I will say this: Martin Lawrence is a legend, right? He's a legendary entertainer. Now, my personal opinions, stand up full hour, it was a bit difficult, right? There was rumors saying that, ooh, Martin had a stroke. If he said he didn't have a stroke, he had something because he's sick. He looks sick. He's moving slow and this and that and the other. And I'll be honest, there were times, and this was before I even saw him in person. I'm like, you do look a little, he moving a little slow, and not just that, but his speech was very, not just rattly, but just very like slow moving, and and I just and yeah, I mean, it was just, and look, I get it. So many folks don't want to, especially people in the public eye, don't want the fans to see them like this, right? It was, to me, clear as day during that stand up that he recovered from something, but also it's just like the jokes wasn't hitting for me. They weren't hitting for me. Um, and look, I'm gonna continue to support Martin Lawrence. As I mentioned, he is an iconic, a legendary entertainer. Def Comedy Jam would not have been successful without the one and only Martin Lawrence. Martin's show is legendary. Bad Boys, all his films, he earned that because he's a truly talented individual. I just think long form stand up on stage, me personally, I wasn't feeling it. The jokes was, yeah, they were funny, they were cute, but it's like, a lot of them were old content. Some were, he spent a long time on certain things, and I don't know, man. It's just it was same old saying. I think this was an easy check for him. I think it was for those who are just saying, "Look, I'm just a fan. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to see him and this and the other." I get it. I get it. But yeah. But I will say his intro on this, if y'all haven't checked him out yet, his intro goes hard. It goes hard. And so I highly recommend to it. Check him out for yourself. I just think when you see when you see people at their positions for a long time, I think, the question is, when is it time to hang it up? Right? When is it time to hang it up? I definitely don't think Martin should do a podcast. I'm just saying that the way that speech was, I was like, I don't know, Slim, I don't know, but it was good. It was an experience, and again, honored to have witnessed him in person. Um, and of course, the Queen and I had an awesome evening, as we always try to do during weekends. And then the next day, reunited with my fam, a part of there's a weekly podcast that I'm a part of called In Your City, and I co-host that with a bunch of my friends, comedian Ciroc Fox, entrepreneur, businesswoman. We called her Hustle Queen, Michelle Young. We were back doing some tapings of that as well. The resume, not the resume, but the schedule has been extremely busy. I'm working on a new business venture, which I'm very excited. So I'll be announcing that very soon. Still doing my thing as far as with my company, and just doing what I can. I also want to brag about, because look, as always, for those who are just now tuning in, you are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Uh, you can catch us Monday through Fridays, weeknights, available on digital and streaming platforms, the streaming platforms of YouTube, Rumble, all right, at the Arrington Gavin Show, as well as Goat Verse TV. That's right, Goat Verse TV. We're so excited to be a part of this amazing platform, uh, filled with, amazing personalities and different programs on there, like yours truly. And check this out: the network gifted me with some business cards. Hello. You see that bad boy right there? Look at that. That's a sexy looking man right there. Look at that. I got some business cards, y'all. That's when you know I'm official. That's when you know I is official. I got the business card. I got a business card. So this right here, this business card actually directs you straight to the app Goatverse TV. It is free. You can download it for free on your app store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire. It's an amazing platform. And then can't forget, did I mention it was free? Yes, it's free. So I don't know about y'all. I don't know if y'all been folks paying attention at these high prices, in these streets, but I like free. I like free. So those are some ways you can stream the program, Goatverse TV, as well as I mentioned, you can check us out on YouTube as well as Rumble. So multiple ways you can tune into us. Check us out on GoVerse TV though, man. It's a huge honor being a part of this great platform, and so yeah, very excited to be a part of that family. Also, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and we're available on all major podcast platforms, as well as on the radio airwaves at WDJY 99.1 FM, straight talk out of the Metro Atlanta area. We air episodes Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on there. So again, I thank you. And let's go ahead and move further on with the program. Let's go ahead, shout out some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Ingenious Gin. That's right, Ingenious Gin. Looking for a spirit as bold and refined as you? Introducing Ingenious Gin, crafted with precision, infused with exotic botanicals, and balanced for the perfect sip every time. Whether you're savoring it neat, mixing the ultimate gin and tonic, or shaking up a classic cocktail, Ingenious Gin is uh, your ticket to a moment of pure sophistication. Experience ingenuity in every drop. Find Ingenious Gin at your favorite store or order it online today by going to ingeniousgin.com. That's right, my friends, ingeniousgin.com. You have to be 21 over to make this purchase. And do me a favor, drink responsibly. Please, please, please drink responsibly. All right, my friends. Look, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have our fun fact of the day. Then we're gonna move it forward with some of our topics. So do me a favor, do not go anywhere. You are tuning in to the Arrington Gavin Show.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to.
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new GOV verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GOATverse TV.
GOVverse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In GOATs, we trust.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Look, let's get it going with our fun fact of the day. And I do mean the day. All right. So, did y'all know that sneakers got their name because they were silent? That's right. In the late 1800s, rubber-soled shoes were called sneakers because they made less noise than traditional hard solid shoes, allowing the wearer to sneak around quietly. Now, I don't know what kind of sneakers they made back then, but I'll be hearing sneakers, making that little squeaking sound and stuff like that. So too much for tiptoeing and trying to sneak out, because sneakers make some noise now. Especially, when I was a kid, I had the sneakers that used to light up too. So so that light would be a distraction too. But I thought that was quite interesting. That is our fun fact of the day, brought to you by the Arrington Gavin Show. Let's get it going with some of our stories. Some of our highlights, headlines that's going around the streets. Look, let me go ahead and bring on this story about a collegiate football coach who recently got fired. Standford's head football coach was recently let go. There's reports that finding that he had mistreated female staff members. All right. And let me go ahead and at least pull up a graphic for those who are watching, because I never like to just talk without you guys seeing a visual. Do I actually have a visual? Let me check. Hold on, guys. This might be. Oh, here we go. So the gentleman's name is Troy Taylor. Okay, Troy Taylor, and he had been at the realm for at Standford for quite some time. And the interesting thing about this is, and this is something that I've always tried to. I haven't really gone too much research on it, but like collegiate football programs has general managers. I'm talking like if it's like the pros, top tier schools like a UNC. Stanford has one, and Stanford's general manager is none other than the one and only Andrew Luck. That's right, former Indianapolis Colts quarterback Andrew Luck. I think Andrew did like 7 years for us at the helm of that. He's also a former Stanford grad. But let me read you this report by the Associated Press. Says here that the Stanford football coach Troy Taylor mistreated female staff members and tried to have a NCAA compliance officer removed after she warned him of rules of violations, according to documents obtained by ESPN from investigations in the Taylor's conduct. Now, here it says ESPN said more than 20, you hear me, 20 current and former staffers cooperated with the two investigations that included complaints against Taylor for what are described as hostile and aggressive behavior, as well as personal attacks. Both investigations determined that Taylor's treatment of employees, particularly of women, was inconsistent with Stanford's standards. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Stanford's standards. That's a lot. The second investigation concluded that Taylor retaliated against a compliance staffer who had found 7 minor NCAA infractions by seeking her removal from her assignment duties. Let's see. He had signed a warning letter in February 14th of 2024 following the first investigation, acknowledging he could be fired if the conduct continued, according to the document obtained by ESPN. Now, additional complaints were documented in a second investigation that ended in July of 2020. July 24th. But Taylor remains on the job. Let's see here. So Taylor was entering into his third year as Stanford's head coach after a back-to-back 3-9 seasons. Okay. First of all, Stanford is extremely generous. Back-to-back 3-9 seasons. So the past 2 seasons, he's only won 6 games. Interesting. Does that tell you right there, coach, that should keep his job? See, there's some programs they don't play. Now, y'all know I'm that guy that is no, let him at least have 2. Don't try and fire somebody after 1 season. Now, if this stuff was going on during those past 2 seasons, and you were losing 2, and you gonna act nasty towards other man, you got to go. But this is extremely sad to hear because when you attend a university, especially for those who wants to work in college sports, this is a dream come true for you, especially at a helm of like Stanford, right? Stanford's a big time sports school. Well, it's a big time sports school. They have some successful sports programs there, and so people are like, this is a job of a lifetime. No, they never expected to be harassed, be involved in a rough or hectic workspace. So it's unfortunate, right? We've heard many scandals in past years from that occurred in different universities, whether if it was abuse in leadership, whether if it was aggressive with the practicing, like in the heat, this and that, or again allegations as worse as this. So look, my friends, we will continue to follow up on this, but again, I want to let you guys know that Stanford head coach Troy Taylor was fired following investigation into mistreatment of female staffers. Okay, female staffers. And again, we're saying that GM Andrew Luck reportedly made the decision to fire Taylor. So kudos to Andrew for doing the right thing. Kudos for him to doing the right thing. He played it fair. He said, look, you got another one? Yeah, buddy. We got to send you uptown, chief. Don't act all brand new. You did it. All right, let me go ahead and digress for this one. Let me move it on to this story, which I thought was pretty interesting. Comedian and coach on the CNN weekly comedy show called Have I Got News for You, Amber Ruffin, who's also a successful writer in her own right. She's a former late night talk show host. It was reported that she would not be attending the White House Correspondents Dinner. And it was interesting when I heard about this. Why? Because when it was first announced, Amber was very thrilled. The folks that puts on the functions were thrilled as well. They respected her her comedy, her career. She is a person that is very involved, obviously, in politics because she's has a weekly show on CNN and does a lot of political material. But this right here really it was interesting in my opinion. I mean, it was pretty interesting because you've always and I'm wondering who they're going to replace. But when it was announced that she was going to do it, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be kind of awkward because she is not a fan of Trump. You usually get folks that is might not all the way be supporters, but at least is pretty cordial with the current sitting president. Excuse me. And so when I heard about this, I'm like, what was the issue? What had occurred? Was it something new that Trump had voted on? Because it was recent. I'll talk about this on another episode, but it was told it was shared on the news that Trump was not a fan of the Smithsonian's, right? Smithsonian's is the ones that basically are in charge of all those museums that you see in DC, right? They're behind the African American Museum, which is one of the museums he's uh, uh gunning to put down. You hear what I'm saying? Like he's trying to end our Black history. Let me tell you something about the African American Museum. It is a beautiful, beautiful sight to see. Beautiful museum on its own plot. It takes you all day to actually witness every single thing within that museum. I mean, beautiful, beautiful museum. But let me go ahead and read a little more back with this. So here we go right here. So says here that in a break with tradition, this year's White House Correspondents will not include a featured comedian. Once again, you have a lot of firsts when it comes to the Trump administration, or at least during his Trump terms. The White House Correspondents Association, which represents journalists who covered the White House, including those at NPR, has canceled writer and comedian Amber Ruffin's scheduled appearance at the high-profile event. In a statement emailed to its members, said that the White House Correspondents Association president, Eugene Daniels, said his organization's board unanimously decided to do without a comedian at this year's April 2016 dinner in Washington. So this wasn't even her choice. They canceled it. They canceled the tradition. So the big question is why? As I read a quote here, it says, "At the consequential moment of journalism, I want to ensure the focus is not on the politics of division, but entirely awarding our colleagues for their outstanding work and providing scholarships and mentorships to generations of journalists." I hear you, but come on, man. You can't get rid of the comedy. Comedy's the best part. The decision comes nearly 2 months after Daniels announced that Ruffin's appearance in an email to members stating that the entertainer was the ideal fit for the current political and cultural climate. Once again, why did you decide, if y'all were so excited at the time, why all of a sudden cancel her appearance and say we're not going to do a comedian at this year? Doesn't make any sense, right? Says here that previous entertainers include Trevor Noah, I remember that, Roy Wood Jr., Colin Jost. The event also went without a comedian in 2019. Oh, see, I didn't know that, when historian Ron Chernow gave the keynote speech. Now, Ruffin's representative did not immediately respond to the request of comment. Now, the annual White House dinner has been going since 1921. United States presidents usually attend, though President Trump chose not to during his first term in office. Um, maybe because majority of the joke was about him, and he can't take the pressure and the heat on. And he can't fathom being insulted in my face. How dare you? I'm the president. All right. Um, says here it remains unclear as whether Trump will make an appearance this time around. Now, in February, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt announced she doesn't plan to attend either. Now, for one, no one cares, Caroline. No one cares if you don't attend. All right. You are the White House Press Secretary. I'm sorry. No one cares. No one gives a you know what if you go or if you don't go. Now, it wouldn't surprise me for Trump not to attend because first of all, what kind of humor does Trump enjoy? Right? Because if his favorite comedian is like a Greg Gunfield, I'm sorry, buddy. You are just you need to get out more. It, they got comedians, from Fox News, so they give their corny conservative jokes, I think, which are more like jabs to the right. I mean, excuse me, jabs to the left. Well, I guess you could say the left does the same thing. Don't need to be hypocrites. But it says here that the White House Correspondents Association has a long-standing role in managing the presidential pool, the group of journalists who regularly cover the president. In late February, the White House announced it would bypass association and manage the pool unliterally. Once again, always changing it up. So, to me, it's still not giving off proper information on why they canceled. Why they opt out to see her, or to bring her on. Let's see here. Yeah, nothing really new. I'm gonna continue to follow up with this, and I wonder if Amber is gonna mention this during her program on CNN. I think she should. I think people want answers because we were all so excited to say, oh, wonder what kind of jokes she gonna do in this one, this and any other. But we will never get to witness that. Hopefully, we'll get to witness that in the next administration. But as of this one, it's not happening. It's not happening. Let's see how we're looking at time. So, what we're gonna do? I think I'm gonna take another break. We're gonna take another commercial break, my friends. Do not go anywhere. We have a lot more show for you in store. You are tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your guy, your homie, Arrington Gavin. Be sure, if you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we put a little bit of everything, not just our episodes, but also some great clips. You know, we it's hard to impact so much stuff within an hour, so we love to give you a little bit of everything. And please be sure to download the GOATverse TV app. All right, for those who are watching right now here on GOATverse TV, look, there you go. There's my business card right there. I'm gonna bring it even closer so you, my friends, can scan that QR code for those who are watching. For those who are listening, GOATverse TV. All right, you can, if you have an Android or iPhone, there is no excuse. The fact that you can't download it, it's free. You can download it on Roku, on the Roku app, as well as on Amazon Fire. So there's multiple ways you can tune into this program, and get a little taste of me going off here and there. Let's see here. What do we have next? Okay, let's bring in this. So this came up to my feed a little later. So entertainer, rapper, actor, mogul, media mogul 50 Cent has been receiving some backlash. So recently, social media went off because it was announced that 50 Cent would be supporting Louisiana Amendment 2. Now, says here, social media lit up in Shreveport, I believe, in Louisiana, with people asking each other, did you get a text or an email from 50 Cent asking you to vote yes for Amendment 2? Now, he posted this video support of the amendment through his G Unity Foundation, and it wasn't long before people started resharing the video, in which the head of G Unit Television and Films introduced himself by his government name, Curtis James Jackson. That sounds like a either a activist name or a minister's name, Curtis James Jackson. All he's missing is like the third or the fourth or something like that. It looks like a Roman numeral name, right? Let's see here. Some online question why he chose a day before voters in the state were to adopt or deny significant changes to their constitution to announce his support of the amendment. Now, Louisiana State Representative Tammy Phelps said, I'm hoping Shreveporters are smarter than that. She went on to say, recently, elections is really, really important to the state of Louisiana because we're changing our constitution. Things that have been protected, things that have been best thus far for the state of Louisiana. Now, still, many had applauded Jackson for having a say in supporting the amendment. Now, the amendment involves many changes to the state tax code. Now, he bought that money. I mean, he did. I'm pretty sure he was a Trump supporter. I think he did, if I'm not mistaken, because he never like, for one, he never talked about Trump, but he's never also, we never talked anything bad about Trump, but he was very like, because 50 is an opportunist too, but he's a money man. He's all about the funds. I mean, look, when you're a successful businessman like him, it shows, right? Investing, this and that and the other. It says here that that Governor Jeff Landry and his administration believe will be game changer for Louisiana, making it more welcoming to the state to do business. Now, there is also a video of Donald Trump Jr. supporting the amendment, and Shreveport Chamber of Commerce has also come out in support. Now, let me go ahead and play you this clip from this is a clip from the Roland Martin Unfiltered program on that's journalist Roland Martin, his weeknight program, daily digital show called Roland Martin Unfiltered. I'm a huge fan. I tune into it as best I can, as many times as I can. If I don't, I catch reruns of it on his network. So I want to let's see here. Let me try and find my notes on this. So Roland welcomed Mr. Gary Chambers to his program recently. And for those who are unfamiliar with who Gary Chambers is, let me kind of recap. Let me give you a little recap on this gentleman and read you a little bit about his background. as I pull up this graphic. Says here, Mr. Chambers is a political activist and community leader from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's known for his outspoken advocacy on issues such as racial justice, criminal justice reform, and economic equity. Chambers gained national attention through viral speeches and videos addressing systematic inequalities, particularly in the South. Now, this is the same guy we're talking about. I think when he was running for a position out in Louisiana, his election ad went viral because I think he was smoking cannabis on there. If I'm not mistaken. Says here he had ran. So he was saying which office he ran for. He ran for Congress in 2021 and later for the U.S. Senate in 2020 as a Democrat, challenging incumbent Republican Senator John Kennedy. His campaigns were marked by bold messaging, including an ad where he, smoked marijuana to advocate for cannabis legalization. Now, Chambers continues to be an influential voice in Louisiana politics and beyond, focusing on the progressive policies and grassroots activism. So let me go ahead and play you this clip of Mr. Chambers. He was on the on Roland Martin's Unfiltered. This is what he had to say about seeing the clip of 50 Cent supporting Amendment 2. So let me go and play this for you.
These Republicans are real scared. And so they have been using, using text messages that have been going to black folks. I saw somebody on posting on social media. They don't even live in Louisiana and they got a text message. And so you might say, well, who are they utilizing? Who are they having push stuff out? Would you believe rapper 50 Cent? Now, 50 Cent just signed a 45-year lease agreement for his studio buildings in Shreveport, Louisiana. This is the video Gary sent me that they have been sending around with 50 Cent backing one of these constitutional amendments. I want y'all to listen.
This is Curtis James Jackson. You might know me as 50 Cent. I have a special message for the people of Louisiana. As you may have heard, I'm now a proud Louisiana property and business owner working hard to bring film and television industry back to Louisiana. I'm working because I have an opportunity to use my influence and make real change in the communities. I want to see more jobs and prosperity in the state of Louisiana. This is why I support the Amendment 2 on your ballot this Saturday. You should too. Don't let anyone confuse you about the Amendment 2. It gives teachers permanent pay raise. It doubles senior citizens tax deduction. This is all good stuff. Voting in favor of the Amendment 2 makes common sense. And this is a bipartisan effort. Every Louisiana State Senate Democrat voted to get the Amendment 2 on the ballot. This one is about the people coming together.
Did the Power Coalition, did you or any others, did 50 Cent reach out to black activists to talk to them about any of this?
I've never had a conversation with 50. I reached out to you. I reached out to some other folks on the national level who I felt may have a relationship with the brother, because look, you may not know, okay? I'm trying to give the brother the benefit of the doubt. 50, you may not understand how this will hurt working class people, how this is gonna hurt poor people. You may not have read the legislation because it's such a complicated piece of legislation that people sued in order to have it removed from the ballot because the language is so long and complicated because it's confusing. The reality is this policy is gonna restructure our tax plan, cost poor people more money, help rich people keep more of their money, and it's a bad deal for the working class people of Louisiana. It is also disappointing when black folks who have acquired a certain level of wealth talk to wealthy white people to come then tell black folks what they ought to do. I think that's a disingenuous position. I can appreciate him coming into our state, but oh boy, mind your business when it comes to this one.
So here's the deal. Let's be real clear. Jeff Landry is MAGA to his core. And it's not like this is about black folk.
Roland, you know what blows me about this? I wasn't going to go there, but I'm going to go there. 50 wouldn't say nothing about the national politics that impacts the entirety of black people in America. Couldn't get you to open your mouth about what black folks should do in the presidential election. Now we got the Department of Education being torn down, where black folks are questioning about so many funding mechanisms that take care of Black children, special needs children. You use special needs children in your messaging while they're dismantling the Department of Education, and you're trusting the people who are aiding and abetting that process to govern the state of Louisiana with just and equitable policies. If you don't want to say nothing about the national politics where you have national influence, please don't come down here meddling in our local state issues when you have a platform to be able to influence Black people all over this country. But it seems you only want to use that when it's beneficial to you, and I call it bullshit on that.
Well, y'all, I mean, look, let me go ahead and share my take of what Mr. Chambers had said. Excuse the language of that clip, by the way. Was not aware of that. He One thing I have utmost respect for Mr. Chambers, because he's very passionate not only about minorities but just really his state and his communities in Louisiana. You can't lose him, or you can't defeat him in a debate. He's gone against current elected officials. I think there's one. I don't know if it was hosted by the Revolt TV, but there was a debate between him and Florida Congressman Byron Donald, who's now a candidate for Florida governor. And it was, I mean, Gary Chambers knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. Now what he's explaining is that 50 is kind of being the distraction to voters just because of his, like he said, his influence. He's not from Louisiana. He don't know nothing about Louisiana. The only thing he knows is that the fact that he's opening his building his film studio in Louisiana. Hey, which is smart, because hey, the land out there is much cheaper compared to if he had to do it somewhere like in a California area or other states. 50 has built a huge media empire with the Power series and everything he's basically touched. I think it's been a continuation of Power and this and that and the other. So that's what the benefit for Louisiana for him is doing. But like Chambers said, out of all these issues involving, Black people this, Black people that, you've had so many opportunities, yet you're only doing this one because it benefits you and it, your personal gain, not the people. Think about that. In my opinion, 50 is gonna, which 50 knows how to troll people. I've seen him many times troll other celebrities that are going through a rough a rough patch. But I wonder if he's gonna respond to what Gary Chambers had to say, because obviously it's gonna go viral, explaining exactly what 50's stance are. And like Roland Martin said, this governor is a strong MAGA supporter. Now, it's nothing wrong with I say it like this: vote who you want to vote for. If that person was Donald Trump, you voted for. Hey, you voted for your interest. You vote. I'm not as anal with people. I mean, with folks that said, "Hey, look, I voted for Trump." Oh my God, you did no. Oh, I can't talk to you. I can't look at you. No, I don't. You have folks that have their reasons for, and then you have folks that just blatantly want to purposely cause division within the world. You know what I mean? So so yeah. Fast forward, with the support that Trump gets from the Louisiana governor, the fact that 50 had said, "Look, I'm gonna, support this issue," which the other celebrity that had supported this amendment too was none other than Don Jr. So that kind of tells you, okay, this law, are you sure, 50? You need to do your own research on this, buddy. Just my personal opinion. How are we looking with time? All right, I got about almost 50, about less than 15 minutes. Let me see here. Let me go ahead. I gotta talk politics, some more politics with it. Recently, California Governor Gavin Newsome slams the Democratic Party, describes him as being toxic, saying they're not the party that I remember. They are now a toxic party. And it's like, wow, you, sir, are somebody that they've said could be a contender to run for office, and or not for office, but for the presidential ticket. And you're criticizing the party that most likely will give you the most support compared to the other, because the other's not going to support you at all. Tell you that right now. You are the governor of one of the most liberalist states in the United States. The right will never ever want to endorse you or accept you. No, that's not happening. Okay, so it says here that the California Governor Gavin Newsome, also podcast host, took a swing at his own party, claiming Democrats have become too toxic and judgmental. Newsome, in an appearance on Real Time with Bill Maher, was asked about the Democrats' criticism of the party and those who have questioned the government for bringing GOP guests on his new podcast. This is Gavin Newsome. Now, me personally, I'm a fan of civil discourse, dialogue with folks of the opposing side or opinion. I think that's fine as long as you show respect to each other, allow each other to talk. You don't have to agree, but you can agree to disagree. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to get aggressive and all loud and like, oh, that's a lie, that's a lie. You're lying. You're a liar. That's what you are. You and the rest of them. No. Now I did not finish. I just started listening to his podcast. I did watch a good portion of his conversation with Charlie Kirk, conservative talk show host, podcaster, founder of, was it Turning Point USA. Set aside from political opinions, which I do not agree with at least 95% of his opinions. Charlie has created a monstrosity of an empire in the world of politics for youth. Like, Turning Point USA is about, it's a platform for the young, aspiring conservatives that really want to not just get involved, but have more of an understanding, want to support. You get to have these features and conversations with all these folks in the right. And Charlie Kirk has built it from being worth pennies to a quite lucrative conference. And so and now obviously he has a syndicated radio program, he has the podcaster. I give him credit on that. Now, his opinions, the kind of individual he is, because he is just, he's nobody I would want to have a beer with. But he is like I said, he's successful of what he's doing. Now let's go back to the governor of California. I'm gonna read this quote right here. It says here, this idea that we can't even have a conversation with other side on the notion we just have to continue to talk to ourselves or win the same damn echo chamber. These guys are crushing us, referring to the Republicans who have seen better numbers in recent elections. He's absolutely right, though. See, this is my frustration with the Democratic Party. Like, y'all need to listen to folks that give you criticism. They're not criticizing you to hurt your feelings, just talk bad about you. No, they actually want to see you do better. So take your advice, learn from that advice, and then we'll see you tomorrow morning at practice. But the fact that you have to criticize, first of all, this man leads one of the most lucrative states in the United States. California alone makes so much effing money, it's not even funny. Because look at the living wages, right? Look at the cities, look at all the celebrities and all that live within the state. Like, y'all need to kind of wake up and smell the coffee. Now, I've been critical of Gavin Newsom as far as for still being a sitting governor, and you're doing a podcast. I just think that's a bit tacky. Your state is still, communities in your state are still rebuilding after the horrific fires that happened pretty recent, and so you're having time to talk about your podcast. To me, it's a bit like I said, tacky. How about you just do your job, continue to do what you were elected to do? You wasn't elected to have a podcast. You were elected to run a state, and folks backed you up on that. This is your final term, but you still need to be more professional and not saying, "Oh, let me go ahead and have a conversation with Steve Bannon out of all people or Charlie Kirk." Like, no. Do your job as a governor, not as a public figure. Now, once you're out of office, by all means, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do to stay relevant. Do what you got to do to make a little money. Like, that's a different story. But when you're currently in office, to me, I feel like that's a bit tacky. To my knowledge, and he's had folks on within his party. He had Governor of Minnesota and former vice presidential candidate Tim Walz. He was a guest on his show, and he's had folks from all sides of the aisle. Now the Democratic brand is read another quote from him. He says the Democratic brand is toxic right now. The governor also gave a nod to recent guests on his show, which some have viewed as controversial, including the former White House advisor Steve Bannon and, as I mentioned, Charlie Kirk. He said, and I think with this podcast and having the opportunity to dialogue with people I disagree with, it's an opportunity to try to find common ground and not take cheap shots. I'm not looking to put a spoke in the wheel of their or a crowbar in the spokes of the wheels to trip them up. I think what he's doing is smart. I think it's a strategy too. I think it's a reason behind this. He's trying to find out exactly, how did you win all these elections? What like how do you win all these elections? What is my party doing that keeps them so far behind? Because hey, Gavin Newsome could be running for a higher office after his governorship. He's not an old guy, still very young, very active. Like, why not, right? Why not? He's a hell of a debater. Why not? Why not? But you know what's interesting? I had a conversation with a buddy of mine earlier today because what was I? There was the other day I was at a town hall held at a local church in my home town, and it was U.S. Senator Mark Warner. He had been on kind of like a tour around the 7 cities earlier in the morning. He was in Virginia Beach doing a conversation, community conversation, and he did the same in Chesapeake. Church was packed, by the way. Ton of folks, ton of people, and a lot of people with questions, a lot of frustrated individuals. And obviously, of this current situation that we're having right now, it's hard to I want to say it's hard was hard like to find folks that are actually like pretty thrilled or just at least in a good mood. Like even like everybody's mood is just so like droopy. It's just because look, you have a lot of job cuts happening right now. You have prices of stuff that is increasing. It's not a good combination to have. But attending there, I stayed a little bit at the end. One of my buddies was the cameraman, and he has his own platform, and I'm hoping to bring him on here very soon. We were just talking the fact that the frustrating thing that I see is the Democratic Party does not have the majority in the House. They don't have the majority in the Senate. And y'all can't get along. Y'all can't work your own freaking differences. Y'all have issues within your own party. It's division happening within the Democratic Party. How do I know this? Because there were Democrats that were criticizing independent U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders and Alexander Ocasio-Cortez going on these tours, right? They didn't like it. They're like, oh, they're too progressive. Ah, they're too aggressive. Yeah. Look, do what you have to do to keep folks informed, to possibly get elected in office where you can make a lot of changes and for the good and not the bad. Like, it's just extremely interesting in my opinion. I'm like, you guys, and this is why their strategy sucks, because they rather spend time talking about one of their own rather than trying to find out, okay, what do we do wrong? How can we do this? How can we do that? Like, it's silly. It is extremely silly. But going back to this story, I really don't disagree with the governor on this one. I really don't. Let me know what's your take on it. Let me know what's your take. Do you consider the Democratic Party right now toxic? Do you believe in having conversations with people of opposing views and values? Are you cool with that? Are you cool to have conversations with, say, friends that you've been friends for years, and then you find out that they're supporter of a political official that you are on the opposing side on? I mean, like, leave a comment. Leave us a comment. You can hit us up through DM on Instagram, or yeah, leave us a comment. I believe wherever you listen to your podcast as well. So, my friends, look, we got about a few more minutes left. Let's take one more break, and then we will most likely close up the show. But let's go ahead and do one more commercial, and we will be back right after this commercial break.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
All right, my friends, welcome back. My voice cracked so bad when I just said that. All right, guys, welcome. Jeez, Arrington, get it together. Okay. My friends, we are coming to that time. I hope you all enjoyed it. Another great conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in and supporting the program. Look, there's multiple ways, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the program. There's multiple ways you can support this show. Do me a favor, download the app, the GOATverse TV app, that you can tune into episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show on demand on this amazing app. I'm so excited to be a part of this network. It's free on the App Store, Google Play Store. As you see, I'm pulling up right here. App Store, Google Play Store, as well as Amazon Fire and Roku for free, guys, for free. Look at that amazing business card. Bam. Go ahead, get that QR code and tune in and support the Arrington Gavin Show through the GOATverse TV app. You can also follow us on social media platform, wherever you check out your social media, whether that's Instagram, Blue Sky, X, or Substack at the Arrington Gavin Show. And listen to us wherever you get your podcasts as well. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and Rumble channel as well. Peace and blessings, y'all. I will see you next time for another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. I am out of here. Y'all take it easy. I'll talk to y'all another time.